S'morning, T-Birds. Welcome to another episode of THUNDERVISION. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Ethan.
In today's episode, Sarah interviews Timothy Michael Moulton about stage crew.
Severa goes to the Metropolitan.
Jack speaks to students about taking the SAT.
Jake gives us a fun bear story.
Let's bring it over to Sarah, who will talk about the behind the scenes of the school play.
Hello, who am I with today?
Timothy Moulton.
Hi, Timothy. From light manager to sound manager, I have no idea what you're doing. So can you please explain to the camera and me what you do for sound?
Sure. So for sound, we have this soundboard, which controls all of the sound in the auditorium. And to do that, we have these microphone packs that connect to the soundboard, which allows the sound to be produced. We have the sliders, which allow us to get louder or quieter. We only have 25 here. And we have, yeah.
You have a yeah.
We have a yeah.
All right.
Me.
Can you explain to us the Mac you got over there? What do you do with that?
Over here.
Yeah.
Zoom in a bit on the Mac.
All right.
So the Mac here, this is where we have sound effects. So this is where, we would have the songs and stuff if there's not a live pit, different like soundboard stuff. So right now we have a whale noise. This was used for Legally Blonde. That was used for the Irish scene. And this just allows us to have an organized place to have all these sound effects and be able to quickly switch between them.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Who am I here with today?
I'm Mr. Coffin.
And what do you do for the theater at Connecticut?
We deal with the sound and lights back here in this booth.
And arguably, the lights and the sound are the most important of the show, and it takes a lot to do it. So can you tell us what goes into light and sound back here?
Yeah, so let's start with light. I would agree, because without lights and sound, you can't see or hear what's happening. So what we do is we find out what the show is going to be, and months ahead of time, we start preparing for how we're going to light the stage. We have to think about where we want to put light on the stage and move lights around so that they're aimed in the right place. And then as the show starts to get underway, we start to program the light board, and so that we can tell the lights what to do when we want them to do it. And that process takes a couple of months, a few weeks especially, to really hone it in. And hopefully by the time we get to the week before the show, we're running the lights and they're doing the same thing every time that we want them to do. And yeah, that's the lights.
All right, and what about sound?
Sound is similar. We have to start thinking about that ahead of time too, and figure out who's going to get mic'd, and every cast member up on stage is mic'd so that we can hear them over the sound of the pit orchestra that's playing and through the system. And we start to design like who's mic'd when and who's not gonna. Their mics sometimes are muted or not muted, and then once we get into running the show, we're actually like controlling the amount of sound that we hear and what type of sound effects we might be putting through the system.
Thank you for being here today.
You are welcome.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Dylan, I know absolutely nothing about the school play. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, this year's school play is Fools, and it's a comedy. It's coming up pretty soon in the next couple weeks. I definitely recommend going to see it, and it is going to be very, very good.
That sounds great. Severa went to the Met on a school field trip, and it was a ton of fun. Here's the story.
What's up, Connecticut? On Thursday, I went to the Met with my French class. This is most likely my last trip for the year, and it was extremely fun. We met up at the LIRR at 8 a.m. We took the train and transferred to the subway. This part was kind of annoying, but my friends made it fun. We finally made it to the Met, and it was pretty fun. We saw a lot of different exhibits, but sadly, we were only able to explore the first floor due to time constraints. There was a really interesting exhibit that went through the life of Caspar David Friedrich. It was a little sad because no one liked him at the end of his life. We also saw exhibits about various periods of European art history. One of my favorite things that I saw was an exhibit on Afrofuturism. I also really liked French art. There were also many statues, and I liked how lifelike they were. I also was able to visit the gift shop which was super expensive, but I bought things anyway. I got a magnet and a keychain inspired by Degas. After that, we went to the Grand Central Station for lunch. The food was pretty good. I had garlic knots, a taco, and an acai bowl. The station itself was really pretty. Then we took the train home and I took a nap. Overall, the trip was nice and I hope to go back to the Met soon. Back to you guys in the studio.
So Ethan, how do you feel about the Met, man? You think it's nice?
I've never been there, but I've always wanted to go. So I'm kind of disappointed I didn't go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks,
you
Grandad.
still got another year, right?
I mean, I guess.
Chance.
Sort of.
Cool.
If I stay.
Okay.
Okay, next story.
Next story.
Today, we will be asking a student about what he does to prepare for the SAT. The SATs will be happening on May 3rd to June 7th, so prepare, and maybe you'll get a 1500 too.
Who am I here with?
Chris Martin?
Are you taking the SAT this year?
Yes, I am.
What are your emotions on that? Thoughts, feelings?
I'd say I'm pretty confident. Like, I've been preparing a lot. Like, usually just like 20 to 30 minutes a day. I'll go on and do some SAT prep, and I do, obviously, English. I'd go over basic, like, timing rules, so I don't want to, run out of time, obviously. The math, which is Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and the geometry. I've been doing a lot of that, studying that, doing that for a little bit each day. So I'd say I'm fairly confident. Just the one thing, it's obviously going to be a standardized test in a shortened period of time, so obviously you're going to be stressed and a little bit nervous, but I'd say I am fairly confident.
What score are you going to get?
I think if I'm lucky, I'm going to get like a 1200.
He meant to say 1400?
Yeah, I'm going to be the wall boy. I have my picture on the wall. 1500.
1600 is what I just heard him say. All right. Anything else you want to add about the SATs?
I just say for anyone who might be taking them in the future, just start early when it comes to preparing for them. So just study.
When are you taking the SAT?
Sometime in May.
No exact date or?
Giovanni, what's up?
Nope.
Nice. Nice talking to you.
And nice talking to you.
Have a good day.
Thank you for your views and opinions on the SAT. And that's all for the SATs. Hopefully you all did well, and if you haven't done it yet, we hope you do good.
How do you feel about the SAT, Ethan?
I took the PSAT. I have not taken the SAT.
How'd you do on the PSAT? Do pretty good?
I think I got a 1300.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
I'm not too concerned about it.
I have not taken it yet. I'm a little nervous.
I think you'll do great, man.
All right. Next up, we have a story on a Connecticut alumni, Timothy Treadwell, who had a documentary made about him called Grizzly Man. Here's the story.
Over the course of its history, Connecticut High School has graduated over 20,000 students, many of who have gone on to pursue a variety of career paths. Some alumni have become well known in fields like government, entertainment, real estate, sports, and television. One of these alumni was Timothy Treadwell, a passionate environmentalist and documentary filmmaker who dedicated his life to protecting grizzly bears in the Alaskan wilderness. His journey began not in the forest, but in the midst of a personal struggle. Originally from Bohemia, New York, Treadwell moved to California to pursue acting, but after a series of failures and battles with addiction, he found his purpose in nature. His first encounters with wild bears in a national park in the late 1980s changed his life, sparking an obsession that would lay out his remaining years. Determined to protect grizzly bears, Treadwell founded the organization called Grizzly People, aimed at educating the public about the importance of bears and their impact on the ecosystem. Through school visits, public appearances, and a growing media presence, he became a public figure. Treadwell spent 13 summers living amongst the grizzlies in Alaska, often camping alone without bear spray or firearms. He believed that by showing bears love and respect, he could coexist peacefully with them. Armed with a video camera, he documented his life in the wild, capturing breathtaking footage of bears in their national habitat. But in October 2003, during his 13th summer among the bears, tragedy struck. Treadwell and his girlfriend, Amy, were killed and partially eaten by a grizzly bear in the national park. Audio from the fatal attack was captured on Treadwell's camera, though never publicly released. The incident shocked the public, and police reportedly have thrown up on scene upon hearing the recorded footage. Timothy Treadwell's story is an ironic twist about the dangers of overstepping boundaries in nature. His deep love for grizzly bears was immense, yet his death serves as a reminder that wild animals remain unpredictable and potentially deadly. In the end, Treadwell became both a symbol of devotion and a tragic example of what could happen when passion overrides precaution.
What's your favorite kind of bear, Ethan?
Black bear. They taste the best. Next story.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of THUNDERVISION. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and stay tuned for our next episode in a couple of weeks. Until then, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Ethan.
And we are THUNDERVISION.
Come on, dude. That's it.